finally gets to show off those sculpted, glorious calves. Look at those. Those are some impressive.
Those I know.
Like
they do not.
I wouldn't expect that.
Where the curtains don't match the drapes. Like he's got the man boobs up top, and then those calves down low.
What was that commercial he did? Was he dancing?
Yes.
Was he doing high kicks?
Yes.
Was that involving the calves?
Yes. Yeah, somebody's been doing calf
Is that
races.
a requirement for golfing? Does that help your swing, your pivot?
They don't need to get any bigger. Let's just put it that way. He should
good-looking calves.
Stop working them out.
Good-looking calves.
Time for stories to start your morning. Big news in baseball. The Padres signed 26-year-old four-time All-Star Manny Machado to a 10-year, $300 million deal. Doug, do you like the deal for the Padres?
For the Padres? No. Johnny Hustle, a guy who they couldn't wait to get rid of in L.A., even though they needed a shortstop with Corey Seager on the DL with Tommy John surgery. No, for the Padres, I don't. I understand it. The Padres have always been a year away from being a year away, and we've heard for years they got the best farm system in baseball. And so last year they got Hosmer. Paid a bunch of money for Hosmer because he's a leader. Now they get the talent in Machado, and the thought is he comes into his prime. He welcomes in all these young guys. But I don't know. You give a guy who struggles with hustling down the line 10 years, $300 million in a kickback city like America's finest city in San Diego, something tells me they're going to regret this in 5 or 6 years when it becomes an Albert Pujols type of deal.
Well, I don't think it'll become an Albert Pujols type deal because Manny's only 26 and he's still got many years left. You know, Pujols was older, I think 32 when he signed that deal. So you knew the second half of that deal. It happened a little earlier than we expected with Pujols. But look, it's not going to lead to wins. I think they say they're going to win 2 more games after this signing. But in baseball, you look at it a little differently because they can sign Machado and Bryce Harper, and it doesn't mean they're going to win. Bryce Harper was great in Washington. They never really won anything there. So baseball's a little different. It makes them sexier. It can convince some other free agents that, hey, we're trying to win. Like you said, we're tired of hearing about the great farm system. Put something on the major league field so you can win. This is a step in that direction. So I get it. I don't think it's going to make them a great team, but I think it'll put some fans in the stands. It is a business, and it'll send a message to other guys that, hey, we're back in the major leagues and trying to win.
Yeah, look, he's a very good two-way player. I don't think he's a top 5 player in sport, but it's a huge contract, boy.
To the NBA, James Harden has scored 30 or more points in 31 straight games. However, he says the scoring streak is something he has had to do, and he's aware of the criticism of his style of play. Chris, is this criticism fair?
Well, I think, look, Kobe Bryant is one who said you're not going to win a championship that way. I agree with Kobe. I don't agree. Steven Jackson said it doesn't look like he's trying to win. I don't agree with that. I also don't agree that it's ugly basketball. I got to admit, I like watching James Harden. I know a lot of people don't. I just understand how difficult it is to come down every possession and just dribble and shake somebody up one-on-one and create a shot or create a shot for your teammate every time down. So I like watching what James Harden is doing. So, yeah, I think the criticism is a little unfair. I think he's had to do it initially when Chris Paul was out, Clint Capella was out, Eric Gordon was even out for a while. Now that Chris is back, Capella's about to be back, I don't think they need to do it. And they've gone 4-4 since Chris Paul's been back. Why? Because they're still caught up in the all James all the time, and Chris is becoming a role player. They have to work that out now.
There's a bunch to unpack. Let's start with, you're lying if you say you love watching James Harden.
I do. I like watching it.
Dribble. I'm not saying
I like watching it.
We all love basketball. We all think James Harden's great at basketball. We all understand how hard it is to score, but it's really hard to get me to watch James Harden. I don't enjoy it. I understand.
One tape.
I understand the philosophy.
I'm so impressed by what he's doing.
Well, here's the other part.
That is difficult.
Carrying a team is, but when you leave him in, you're up 20 or you're down 20, and he's clearly trying to extend the streak. Stop it with the, I had to do it.
And far between.
Whatever. It obviously means the streak is important.
They've had to win. Well, the streak should be. But you know, Doug, Michael Jordan said, I want to win, but I want to be the reason we win. Like, guys want their numbers. Guys want their stats and accolades. There's nothing wrong with that.
I understand. It's a longer discussion, but I don't believe you actually like watching James Harden dribble 15 times before making a move.
I like watching it.
We'll have more on this later. Moving on to the big matchup in college basketball. Number 8 UNC against number 1 Duke. The ticket to this game nearing Super Bowl prices, in large part because of Zion Williamson. UNC head coach Roy Williams added Zion is a different bird. Doug, what are expectations for Zion in his first game against North Carolina?
Obviously that he's going to get a steal and he's going to do a dunk that everybody goes like, wow, he's going to win the dunk contest, and we're going to stop and hand him the basketball afterwards. First of all, this is great for a sport that has lacked a ton of buzz. You know, I mean, look, we got better games on Fox Sports 1 and Fox than we've ever had, and I think there's an incredible diverse set of coaches throughout the country and styles. But let's be honest, college basketball is kind of dying a slow death in terms of relevance and importance.
Regular season.
For a myriad of reasons. The regular season, you know, whether it's the conferences expanding, the lack of some of these rivalries, all the one and dones, all the transfers, where he plays where. It's just the Pac-12's
Don't you also think oversaturation?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's on every. You're searching for a game, and there's a game on every night. Nothing's important. The one kind of throwback to how it used to be is Duke, Carolina, is Cameron Indoor. Is it because Zion is that much of a thing? Yes. It's also because you're in a tiny bandbox of a place, and it's the best rivalry, arguably in sports, going right now. So it's a confluence of things that have brought it together. My expectations, he's going to be spectacular in the way that Zion is spectacular, where he doesn't need the ball like James Harden every time down. He's not even their go-to guy, and yet he finds a way to take over a game at both ends of the floor. He's spectacular to watch, and I can't wait to see him tonight.
Look, I think you made some great points, and I do think UNC Duke is still special. But if Zion was not in this game, it'd be, okay, let's check it out because it's UNC Duke, it's the rivalry, but it wouldn't have this buzz. I mean, this guy is electric, and what else should I expect? I expect him to have a spectacular performance. I think Duke will win. UNC is tough, but Duke, they've lost to one top-ranked team all season. It was Gonzaga earlier. They played well, recently beat Virginia twice. So I think Duke will pull it out, but we all want to see something special from Zion. And I mean, I haven't watched a game this season where he hasn't delivered something.
We talked a little bit about Kyler Murray, right? He has the magnetic thing that the stars have. When he comes out in the court, just his sneakers squeak differently than everybody else. And it's fun to watch. I love the way he competes at the defensive end. That was what's lacking from last year's Duke team that had Marvin Bagley and all those other stars. This one competes, and they compete because in college basketball, I think it's the same in the NBA, you are what your best player is, right? And when your best player is your toughest guy, when your best player is the guy that competes at both ends, that tracks you down and tries to block every shot, that's what your team is. So as R.J. Barrett is a spectacular talent, may actually be a more talented basketball player at the next level, but he's not the leader of this team. Right. The most impressive part about Zion is not the fact that he's lost some weight and trimmed up. It's not the fact that he's become a little bit better shooter than his reputation. It's the fact that he plays really, really hard and has become the unquestioned leader of the Duke Blue Devils.
This game, though, has 6 of the projected top 25 draft picks for next year?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. All right, back to the NFL. Many have speculated the Super Bowl was Rob Gronkowski's last game. His agent, Drew Rosenhaus, believes Gronk's retirement decision will come in the next couple of weeks. Gronk has been seen spending time at Gillette Stadium this offseason. Chris, should Gronk retire?